It is 5:30 and I'm going to call this meeting to order with a roll call.
Sean is here.
Heffron. Here. Johnson.
Here.
Moore's absent. Thomas.
Here. Okay, I'd like to welcome the visitors, and at this time, we will have a public forum if anyone would like to address the board. No one on Iowa Media Network. We will move on to approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Agenda has been approved. Approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes have been approved. Old business, it appears that we have no old business. New business, student representative.
So we have a treat for you. We actually have two student representative situations here. One, I think Miss Abby is our primary student representative, so if you want to come on up and
Okay,
do the thing.
hi. I'm representing student council at the Senegal High School. There's a couple things happening in our school right now. Pancake Day is a large thing that's been coming up, and there's a lot of volunteers for the inflatables, and then just throughout Pancake Day. And we also have a lot of contestants competing within Pancake Day, which is really good for us. And then the sports, football has Friday a game here on senior night, I think, and then volleyball has a home game Tuesday versus Davis County. Girls swim has a home meet on October 20th, and then girls tennis has just finished their season. Everything went well for them, and then we saw cross country going on. And then CPE Day was a FFA convention that they went to, and it was just a career development event. They had 28 people go, which is really good, I think, for them. Yeah. And then Upward Bound went on a trip to Central College, where they just got to talk to a bunch of people and businesses and colleges. And then we have homecoming, which is a really big week, and that's coming up next week. We have a bunch of fun dress-up days, painting, dodgeball, you name it, we have it. It's a really good day for everyone and fun. And then the dance is that weekend on 4th.
So you're gonna play on the Powder Puff team?
I think I am. We'll see how it goes though.
No, I'm sorry, I have to root for the seniors this year.
Oh, yeah,
It is
that's
what
okay.
it is.
We're gonna try to cram the board into the car, but.
Oh, that's gonna be fun, yeah.
Sign up. Sign up now.
That would make for a very short meeting.
It would. It's ministerial, we wouldn't have to.
Yeah, true.
We don't want anybody seeing that.
Any questions? Addie, thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much. Have a good rest of your night.
You too.
And then we have a couple gals from the FFA to present a little bit about some activities in their program and maybe an upcoming trip that we'll talk about next meeting.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Emery Hawkins, and I'm the president of the Centerville FFA chapter.
I am Kimmy Johnson, the Centerville FFA vice president. Thank you for giving us a chance to speak with you tonight about something that means a lot to our chapter, the opportunity to attend the National FFA Convention.
The National FFA Convention is the largest gathering of students in the entire country. More than 70,000 FFA members come together each year in Indianapolis to celebrate achievements, learn new skills, and get inspired for the future. For us, it's not just a trip, it's an opportunity and an experience that can truly change the direction of our lives.
At the convention, students like us have the chance to attend leadership workshops, listen to the world-class speakers, and meet people from all across the United States who share the same passion for agriculture and leadership. There's also a massive career expo with hundreds of colleges and companies there to help us explore different opportunities for the future. For some of us, this may be the very first time we connect directly with college or career path that excites us.
If we get the chance to attend, we'll grow in 3 major ways. As leaders, convention gives us workshops and experiences that push us outside our comfort zones. We learned skills like communication, teamwork, and how to set and reach big goals, which are skills that we can take back to our chapter, our classrooms, and our everyday lives. As students planning for the future, talking to colleges, trade schools, and companies at the Career Expo helps us see all the opportunities that are out there. Whether we want to be a farmer, a business person, a scientist, a teacher, convention shows us that agriculture connects to every career field. As members of this community, we want to come back and bring the motivation and ideas we learned to share with others. We return inspired, more confident, and ready to give back, not only to our FFA chapter, but also to our school and our community.
I think the most powerful part about the National Convention is that it makes you feel like you're part of something so much bigger than yourself. Sitting in an arena with thousands of FFA members, all wearing the same blue jacket, you realize that you are a part of a nationwide network of young leaders. It's a reminder that hard work and dedication can open doors you never thought possible.
By allowing us to go to the National FFA Convention, you're not just helping us take a trip, you're investing in our growth as leaders, in our career exploration, and in the future of Centerville students. You're telling us that you believe in us and the impact we can have, not just now, but for years to come. On behalf of our chapter, thank you for considering this opportunity. We're excited for the chance to represent our school, learn, and bring back experiences that will benefit everybody.
Thank you. Very
Good
nice.
job.
Well done.
Very good.
Professional.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to, but we can't.
It'll be an action item on the next meeting, yeah. Yep, we got you covered.
We got, yeah.
We'll have that opportunity to get them on their way and doing good things, and,
Is that something we do every year?
I think we have,
Every
yeah.
other.
Every other year, yeah.
Every other year.
Oh,
So
okay.
last year was not the year.
Yes,
It was the
Okay.
year.
correct. No, it was not.
Not
Sorry.
the year. Okay, so you didn't go last year.
I think it's a fantastic opportunity just to meet other people, but to go to those things and find out the different kind of fields there are. I never went to something like that a long time ago in school, but I went to something, it was called Junior Engineer and Scientist. It was in Colorado Springs. And I'll never forget that because of the things that I learned, and of course I ended up doing science type stuff, but you find out so much more, and you learn from other people too. So it is a fantastic opportunity for you guys.
It's probably come back with a lot of really good ideas, too.
And when is it?
It's in October 29th to
31st. Yeah. So it's coming up. Yeah.
And obviously, we've got a really, I'm very excited about our young, energetic, excited teacher for this program too. Pacey being a Centerville grad, she's definitely bringing in what our program needs and a lot of positivity for our kids. I see a lot of buzz about the program when I go to high school, so it's exciting to see this really taking off.
Thank you.
And 70,000 people, you must be sleeping in tents or something.
I don't think that we want to go to that.
So how many people would typically go out of your class? or-
Our chapter is taking 10 members.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having us. We
you.
appreciate it.
Come back.
We will.
Good job. Great
Good
job.
night, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you. Have a good day. You too.
Okay, I think we are ready for the director reports. Who's going first? Mr.
Well, Mike, why don't you go first?
Tomorrow is a long-awaited day. We're finally getting our 2 new buses that it feels like I ordered forever ago. So they're gonna build.
3 years ago?
I don't.
Feels like it's been a while.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a long time. There's a few problems with one of them, which doesn't make me feel great, but they got it worked out. There was something that came up on its drive up from Tulsa where they're built to Marshalltown. So they're gonna deliver those tomorrow. Just wanna tell you guys, thank you again for the support. When I started working here 9 years ago, we literally had buses in the fleet that I rode on when I was a kid. And I'll be 38 years old in 2 weeks. So we've definitely upgraded the fleet in the last 5-6 years, so much appreciated. Other than that, pretty good start to school. I mean, you have your, few bumps along the road, but feel like our new software worked out good. Definitely saved me some time. I think it'll save me even more time as in the future as, I learn how to use it a little more efficiently. Other than that, that's about all I got. Unless you guys have any questions.
I know just going through, a couple times ago, you have a lot of people that took a course and now can be substitutes. And you're doing
I wish I
pretty
had a
good.
lot more.
You still need more, huh?
Yeah, always.
Okay.
And do we have some buses scheduled for replacement this year?
Well,
I can't remember what the schedule is.
I need to look at that schedule. You mean as far as going ahead and ordering for the next fiscal year?
Yes.
Yeah, I need to look at our long range plan, but I believe that there is.
Well, one thing we've discussed, Mike and I have, we found a company that'll sell, you can't buy a new 12-passenger van as a school district in the state of Iowa, or 15-passenger van, but you can buy a used one. There's a company based out of Kansas that's, and a couple other companies we found that I have consistent 15-passenger vans. So we've talked about, do we look at if our mileage is lining up with what our long-range plan predicted? And do we try to slip one of those in there at some point, so we've got that?
Yeah, I
Because
think
we have a lot of sports that we have trouble.
Need to evaluate our
Right.
needs, I think, at this point.
Yeah,
The plan as far as where we're, you know, since COVID, it's taken forever to get anything new, and it's not really, you know, what salesman says it'll be 12 months now, but whether that's true or not, I don't see it getting better, probably just stay about the same, so. That'd be about, I guess, as good as I can answer that question.
Okay. I will mention that I serve on the Centerville Community Betterment Board, and our insurance company, I don't know that they actually forbid us, but they certainly frowned on 15-passenger vans.
I appreciate that information. I'll check with ours.
You need to check with our insurance company and see where they see. Maybe you already have.
I know this is kind of a growing trend in schools. A lot of them are getting.
A lot
these
of
because they can't
districts
get much
have
drivers.
them,
Okay. So
but
maybe it's
I'm
an
not
issue.
saying that,
But it's worth asking.
it's worth asking, but I know there's a lot of them out there.
Okay, that's fine.
And you still have to have your bus driver as you go from.
No, not
About combining the two.
16 or more, you have to be
Oh,
eligible.
Yeah.
She did encourage you there.
If it's
Thank
not
you.
used for a wrap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
I'm gonna check in with
Yeah, you couldn't use that for a bus.
her. Right.
Right.
Just for like a sports
See,
team.
for an extra.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
They'll do a bowling run or something, when they
Yeah.
get, not driving a bus.
I think it's about a weekly call from Jared and Mike this week, like, okay, who can drive the
It's a
Suburban
daily,
this
it's
week?
a
We have
daily
two
thing
and
at this
three.
point.
Yeah,
Well, just like that FFA group. If there's
Yeah.
kind of that,
then you can fit them in there and you can go and you're good to go.
Yeah. Any other questions? Thank you very much, sir.
New
Thanks,
bus,
guys.
next new bus is fiscal year 26 on the long range plan, so this would be fiscal year 26, right?
Okay.
So, yeah, we probably need to discuss pretty quick, if we need to go ahead and order that, or, you know,
Right.
what we need to do, but,
Keep it rolling.
Huh? Well done with the fund for buses.
Who's next?
That would be, Cameron.
Just normal start of the year. My crazy part, I probably met with every staff member at least twice, I feel like. But it's going good. New access points seem to be working out pretty well. Had some iffy coverage that I've changed some stuff, reprogrammed, we got that going. Servers we're working on 3 now instead of a pile like we used to, so that was a big summer project I had wrapped up, which feels really good. And then Infinite Campus, just making sure that talks with all of our programs that me and Julie work with, and we're finally got that smoothed out too, so we're really rolling, just getting caught up on a few other things, and started esports last week. I have a huge turnout for that, I've got like 14 kids now this year, which is awesome. And I have more coming almost every day, being like, hey, I'm interested, I just can't this season, can I join next season? And I'm like, oh, for sure, so I think I've got kids lined up, I feel like I'm at 14 at least for every single season, which is awesome, because I have kids that aren't interested in some games and want to play other ones more, so I think it's a growing program, I think it's gonna keep going.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Any questions from Kim? Thank you, sir.
Kate?
We started off the year with the new Infinite Campus system. It's had a bit of a learning curve, but I think we're getting worked out, and some kids worked out in it, and seems to be doing pretty well. They've made a few changes in some of the kitchens, just minor upgrades in how they're doing service, making things flow a little better. What have some new equipment at the high school and tower for, putting some of the food in for, the meal services, make it look a little bit, more professional and easier for the kids.
Like the pizza thing?
Yeah.
The sort of display of pizza, because there's always pizza as an option. We kind of saw some other schools that had that, and we got kind of jealous and worked with them. And like, oh, here's what you need, so.
Yeah, so those are, they're actually coming this week, so I imagine it'll be next week we'll have them set up.
That's expensive, or is it?
That's our food service expense, kind of that, yeah.
Otherwise, it's, we have our triennial review this year. This is my first year with a review like that. It's extremely detailed and in-depth. I attended a meeting for that with our state consultant last week. So it'll be a big part of my fall and winter.
Busy.
I had a question on, on the summer food program, I guess maybe, I should know this, but where did the funding for that come?
That's a program through the state.
It is the state program, not a federal.
I think the state actually gets money from the feds, and then they oversee it.
Well, I know they kept talking about some other program they had to sign up for, but not everybody was gonna get it in the state. That's not the one we had.
So the
No.
summer program, anybody 18 years old or younger is eligible to receive
Okay.
food. You don't have to sign up for it, you don't have to qualify.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if you make zero money or $1 million.
Okay.
Anybody can participate in that.
And you
As
felt
far
it's well needed too, correct?
Yes.
I think so too.
As far as regular school year meals, that's, right now we have the regular free or reduced or paid, depending on either income or if they're direct certified by the state.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Kate? Thank you.
Aaron?
Quick update on the auditorium. Talked to them this morning. The wipe down portion of this process should have been completed today. The painters were in earlier this morning, and they should have the painting finished up either today or tomorrow. Well, the remaining work includes the HEPA vacuuming, the seats and carpets. It's very promising. They've moved very quick on this and should be ready for next week. The Lakeview Band Room has had a few delays, as we all know. Right now, the estimated completion is end of October. One of the small delays we've had recently, Rochelle and I decided that it'd probably be beneficial if we had Team Services inspect their welds when they got to this point, now that the decking and iron's up. And I just got notification literally like 2 minutes ago that everything passed, so we're good to go. There were a few extra mishaps where water got in where it wasn't supposed to, but when you have a roof open like this, it's going to happen. But I've documented everything, and First On Site's been real good about it. They're going to replace anything that's damaged and everything like that. But overall, the project's going very well. Just delayed.
Construction.
It's
That's-
just what happens.
Any questions for Ken? All right, who's next?
Well, Julie would be as Jared as athletic director, I'm sorry.
I mean, we're in a busy few weeks here with Pancake Day. This week we host tonight, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and then obviously this week with homecoming we have stuff basically Sunday through Saturday. So it'll be a full few weeks there. As Mike said, him and I talked about daily on how we're gonna get things done and get people from point A to point B. I've been driving to our different cross country meets. I just finished my 70 modules of videos and quizzes. So now I just have to go to the in-person class to get my bus driver. So that'll be, hopefully by the middle of October, I'll be done with all of that. I just have to get through homecoming and everything before I could dedicate the time to go and finish that up. So I'll be able to help drive some of those out trips on a bus instead of, like right now, there's a lot of times we'll send 3 vehicles instead of a bus just because we don't have a bus driver.
You've driven some decent distances, I think, in the last few weeks, haven't you?
Yeah, we went like cross country, went to Pleasantville and Central Decatur and Wayne, so it's good.
Wayne's a nice easy jump.
Looks like
Think
I'll be
about
going
the
to
chance we can get.
make the drive over to Fairfield probably sometime this week, so it'll be good.
All right.
Any other questions for Mr. Johnson? Thank you, sir. Julie?
Okay. So on the curriculum front, we've had a lot of great PD to start the year. It's always a great time to get together with our lead teachers there that went through the process to be that in August. And then we had a great speaker, Todd Whitaker, nationally known. Always excited to bring that into town, and teachers help to do that as well. They are part of that TQ committee, so it's exciting to have somebody of that nature come to Centerville. And then Friday we did our first Teach to Heal day. I know that teachers, it was a lot of background and a lot of the why, and they're looking for the what. And so hopefully in the next couple of sessions with her, our next one being in February, we're going to start getting some of that what for them and some certain strategies. So it's just a process, and I think it went really well because of the cleaning in the auditorium. We did hold it at the Bridge Church. They're always very gracious to host and always make sure we have everything we need, and just a great place to have it because it's a little bit smaller and more intimate, so we could have some groups and things, and it was good for our staff. So we had all of our staff there, all associates, all secretaries, things like that. So it was a really great day, and really we had well attendance, so I'm excited about that. Preschool has started. We have a great bunch of 3- and 4-year-olds that are always excited to be there. One of my pictures, it is Mr. Taylor dancing with them, so had to definitely show you that one. I don't remember what they were doing, but he went right in and they were dancing, so they love that.
It's not a pretty sight.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
it's Paper Hat Day is always a big hit with our littles. They think those big kids are just so awesome, which they are awesome, but they absolutely talk about it for days. So we appreciate that tradition. So lots of great things happening. Really excited for upcoming month. We have some more PD coming and things happening that are really good things for our teachers. So.
Any questions? Thank you very much. That gets us down to principal reports.
Yeah. Well, I always like to use Julie as a pivot point. Brian.
Yeah, just got a few things on the board report that you guys saw. Probably the biggest is the vending machine. If you didn't see that the ribbon cut for the vending machine, we've already had, like 9 or 10 books already go out, so that's really cool. And I don't always get to catch it, but I always catch the kids afterwards that they're very, very excited to get a book. And we knew that last year when we did the Books Are Fun thing, that there's some kids that got every kid got at least one free book, that we knew it would be a hit, but it very much is a hit. Like a book is, which is cool, right? Because you think of all the technology that kids have, and it still is very cool for them to pick out books and take it home. So that's great, sharing that positivity. The other thing that I put on there is the postcards that we're getting sent home that I'm hearing kids talk about. Same thing as our LEAD Awards, we're starting to put those on the wall again, and it is cool. If you come to school and just like, kids are very interested to see like, who's got it, my name's on there, I can't wait to get it. We're hearing that as well with the postcards. And what I like about that is, I did really encourage our staff to, hey, but I did tell them, I'm not gonna police this. Like, I understand that this week you're busy and next week you have to give 2 postcards, but we know how that positivity can help our kids, regardless who the kid is. And so they did something this week that's good. Let them know that they did something great this week. And what I like to see is, because I'm not policing it, but I am just kind of like going through, I'm seeing a lot of great names. I'm like, oh yes, this is great to give this kid some positive feedback. And this kid, yes, they're always great, so give them some positive feedback. So I do get to see that before I send them out to to the post, and there's just been some really good, and I think that will pay dividends in March, when kids who struggle and there's stuff going on, it's, building them up is a positive thing. So still got the leaderboards going, and then obviously the positive news home, and then the PBIS awards. So seeing a lot of great things among teachers to celebrate kids. Awesome.
Any questions? Very good report, thank you.
I was going to take off on a little bit too of the positive going on, but I'll tell you what, something came to my mind this morning when I was thinking about our meeting tonight that I thought probably we don't do a very good, or I don't do a very good job of acknowledging, and that is our nurses. I'll tell you what, when I look at the new documentation that the state is expecting our nurses to do for the health plans, that is enormous. But I just couldn't say enough good things about the work that Megan DeCina has done in our building. And we had a young man come in on Thursday with probably one of the nastiest looking breaks I'd ever seen. And Megan was just calm, cool, collected. This is what we do, And I just thought we are so fortunate to have a full-time nurse in our building. So I just wanted to accentuate the good news, good work that she does, and share that as positive news in our building. The other thing, you don't have to look very far to see the shortage of teachers in the state of Iowa right now, and I just couldn't tell you how great all the teachers that we hired have been hitting the ground running, as well as our senior teachers. We had a tornado drill the other day, and someone was struggling to find something in a folder, a sub was, and there was 3 teachers over there trying to help them out and show them that. And before school started, our 6th grade teachers are over checking out the 7th and 8th grade teachers' halls and rooms, and it's just been a good start to the year. We got a lot of great kids. I don't have to tell you that. I feel like that every year, but it's just been awesome. I shared with you that our 7th graders did not go on a field trip last year, so we're making up for that. We're gonna get them kicked off here and headed to Stowe Heights, and that's just an absolute phenomenal team building ropes course. I think our kids will love. Good opportunity. We take girls one day, boys another. Not to be sexist, but the whole thing is sometimes it's hands-on when we're trying to move teams, and it's a little bit more comfortable in middle school for girls to be with girls and boys to be with boys. Mike Moore offered to drive our bus those days. We kind of scheduled that because I was trying to work with Mike Kincaid, and Mike Moore was there, and he said, pick a Monday and Tuesday and I can help you. So we got that kind of taken care of, not to add to Mike Kincaid's burden.
You made it easy, Terry.
I'll tell you what, our expectation was the same as last year, that we were asking teachers to contact 3 parents a week and share good news. Just to be real honest, a little bit of that has been a little rough, that maybe parents weren't used to that. So they were like, what are you calling me for while I'm at work? And I said to our teachers, if that's the biggest complaint a parent has, we will be fine. We will figure this out. But I had an experience last week when I called the dad, and he said, I'm not quite sure what to say, Mrs. Schofield. I don't know that you've ever gotten to call me like this. And I said, but I'll tell you what, your young man has grown into a very respectful, responsible young man, and I hope you get ready, because the phones are going to keep ringing. You saw that, Mr. Taylor. We had a young man step between two peers who were kind of bumped into each other in the hall and then weren't sure they were going to be okay letting it walk away. And this young man stood in and was like, just go, it's fine. Nobody meant to do anything. Totally created a peaceful situation. Oh, it could have been a little bit of a ruckus. So yeah, good stuff, but we're off to a good start there too. If you see us, Mrs. Sulcer's done an amazing job jumping in and replacing Mrs. Warren, and we're screening kids down to identify starting our reading supports for intervention work and our math supports. So that's what we're kind of putting in the computer tonight here.
Terry loves to hear 6-7, by the way.
Okay, I didn't even know about that. The teachers had to tell me about that. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's the middle school thing right now.
Yeah, I didn't know that until they were like.
It's apparently a 3rd grade thing, or a 2nd grade.
It's an old
I did share with one of our 5th grade teachers this afternoon a good project that each kid has to have 6 or 7 minutes, and they have to write a 67-word essay on what 6-7 means.
Yes, I saw that.
And then they will share in groups of 6 or 7. Trying to stop it, because it's in my
That's
household.
really fun.
I don't know.
It doesn't, it's my understanding.
It doesn't mean
and
anything.
It doesn't really have a meaning,
Yeah.
but it's just the thing they say, because they
6-7.
find it really funny for some reason. And so we use that with our football boys and the youth football team too, a little bit to get them going. So it's middle school and, well, I guess the high school kids.
Yeah,
use
it's
it
all
also.
over.
So,
I would ham it up about
yeah. Honestly, there's, yes.
It started with college, like 2 college.
Usually, because I'll do like random numbers
Yeah.
sometimes.
Six or
Is
seven.
that where it came from?
Oh, I see.
Song and-
I'm like, yeah, that's the reaction I wanted.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mrs. Schofield.
Yes, ma'am. We're going to high school.
Okay, and I'm just gonna stay on because I can't see Lisa, so, just in case I need to see Lisa. And that is a high school thing too, so I'm oblivious to it. I'm like Terry, I was observing in a classroom, and there was it was financial literacy, and the comment was something about 10% of your earnings. And some kid raised his hand and said, or 6 or 7, and I didn't even get it, right? I'm
Oh,
like,
she is.
okay, the teacher knew though, because she was right on that. But anyway, it's all over the place.
ridiculous.
I'm not gonna go into a lot of detail on some of the things in my report, because as you heard from our young ladies that presented earlier too, there's just a whole lot going on. In fact, sometimes at the high school, I feel like there's so much going on, I just wish it would all pause for a few weeks so we could do school. So, but we're doing school, and kids are doing really well. We're off to a really good start. I wanna really brag on my building leadership team just a little bit, because we have really dug in, and we had our first meeting, and I didn't even have it on the agenda, but we continued after the meeting in terms of planning some professional development that we know needs to happen for our building. So we're gonna really do some focusing, and we're using our SAME score from last year, and we're using some other data that we're in the process of collecting, like our FAST data, and of course Iowa assessment scores. And then some just teacher input that we've collected along the way through some surveys and things, but we're really gonna focus on student engagement, which we know when the kids are engaged, their chances of learning the material is much higher. High quality instructional practice, which I think is something that we've probably just ventured away from in terms of some solidified practices that we think are really high quality that we should be seeing in each classroom. So we're gonna identify some of those and really try hard to implement those in each of our classrooms. And then just differentiation. I think our staff as a whole, yes, of course, we teach our special education students just like we teach the general education population, but just some maybe more specific ideas about how they can differentiate in their gen ed classrooms for some of these students that need a little extra support and extra staffing. And the truth is, that's not just our special education students. A lot of times, that's our students in general that might be pushed on this end and might need more staffing and support on the other end. So I'm really proud of our building leadership team for wanting to already push forward and identify those things that we want to put into place and really work on in terms of professional development for our staff this year. The rest of our stuff is really, homecoming, Pancake Day first, right? Homecoming, our football team's doing well. We've got volleyball teams playing well. Our kids are busy. You guys, our kids are so busy. And I wish homework was always at the top of their list. So that seems to be the challenge. And I don't think that's unique to Centerville. I don't think that's unique to this time of year. I think that's true for all of our kids. They're super busy, and we want them to be involved and be busy, but we also want them to stay focused and make sure grades are up too. So that tends to be our ongoing challenge, but we're working at it.
Any questions? Very good. That gets us down to the Mystic School Building.
Okay, so this was kind of a weird one that came up last week. I got a message from Mike Craver asking if we had any documentation on the district choosing not to exercise our right of first refusal when the Mystic School Building had been sold to somebody the last time. And we have no documentation that it ever happened, so there was concern whether or not that had even been offered at that point. I believe it sounds like there's a sale getting ready to go on from the current person who's converted it into a home, put some good effort into making it a nice looking home, I guess, and wanting to sell it on to another person. And the district has right of first refusal still by law with that, and they've requested if we would be willing to consider dropping our right of first refusal for this and moving forward. I don't anticipate a time where we'd want to purchase an old school building as a school district. So it seems like the logical thing to do. If we would make the decision to approve that as a board, Mike would craft up a document and we'll have Danielle Hainfield verify that it checks all the boxes for us before I give it to Mike to sign. But I think it'd probably be wise to go ahead and drop our right of first refusal on that building.
What does that mean, first refusal? We could buy it back
Like
from
it's,
the person.
my
building it now?
understanding is, and I had to ask Derek, cause he kind of works in this realm, or maybe it was Ed, I asked Ed Cox I talked to. If somebody if they wanna sell it, and they'd have an offer, we'd have the right, I believe, to say we'll take it for that, right?
Match that offer.
Oh, okay.
You see it a lot of times in.
He has commercial roof on it.
Yeah,
Expensive roof, I'll tell you that.
yeah.
But I don't think they want it. Schoolhouse at home.
Yeah, honestly, it's probably pretty good. There's a lot of square footage in those old buildings. A lot of room for activities.
I would assume that we have the same situation with the school in Cincinnati.
You know, I was gonna start looking into that and finding out if that's been dealt with or exercised or
Probably
not.
Garfield as well.
Maybe, yeah,
If that's the case, we may wanna,
just keep our,
knock out 2 of them at once.
yeah, yeah. I'd have to ask, probably at the city office if they've got anything for us on that, or we can look back through old minutes on that, on those other buildings. But apparently on this one, that was negotiated into it. But I just don't see a need to keep it as a board here.
No.
And it sounds like they'll make a nice home for somebody who's gonna live in our school district, so even better.
They fill up every room with kids.
Lots and lots of
There's
kids.
a lot of room.
Motion to approve, to refuse, motion to approve first right of refusal
How do you word that? Okay,
and,
Would be the same.
shoot,
remove remove it.
yes.
We don't want it.
Motion to vacate our,
We don't want it.
how about a motion to vacate our right of first refusal?
What
from
he
the
said.
school building?
I'll second
They're
that.
owned by other people.
Yeah, I think, I'm trying to remember the details of where that was, so I was teaching in the district when those two closed, and I can't remember.
Community center, and they sold it to someone else.
Yeah, and then it got turned into a home. The Cincy building, is that still owned by the?
It's the city hall.
There you go.
I'm kind of amazed that he did all that work and now he's gonna sell it to somebody.
Yeah.
They're just gonna make a nice little profit.
I
Well,
don't think he'll make, oh no. It's kind of a different type of home,
Yeah.
to say the least, but he spent a lot of money.
That's,
Looks nice.
they're right.
That's cool though. That is cool.
We have a motion to vacate the first right of refusal for the Mississippi School Building.
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. First reading of board policies. Mr. Taylor's favorite thing.
Yes, it is, yeah. And so you have those in your packet. Not a lot of super exciting things. There were a lot of civil rights changes and bullying changes in the state legislature in the last year, kind of catching up to that. This is actually a combination of 2 policy primers that came out. So that's why there's so many on this one, both related to the last legislative session. I shared with somebody before the meeting, the day that we sent this out to you, another policy primer came out, so we'll get some more first readings, it'll be really fun. Just kind of the bullying report form doesn't necessarily require a specific attribute of a person to qualify, so that, that's maybe the biggest change to it, but it still is the same form for the most part, other than that. Did anybody have anything that they saw that was of concern?
Only thing I saw, 503.09, student use of personal electronic devices.
Yes.
It just kind of trailed off there. In the space designated by the classroom teacher, student personal electronic devices in the possession of the district will be secured using the following methods.
Oh, let me see what I did there. Let me scroll to
It
that
had no
one. Sorry.
methods. I didn't know if that was just
I apologize, that is probably because I didn't catch a whole. So using Simbly, most of the cross out and add in you see is from Simbly itself. So I must have missed that whole on that one. Let me look at that.
But yeah, otherwise, I mean, that's.
You said 503.9, right?
Yes, sir.
309.
Page 74.
Goodness gracious. That is at, which part of the
Second paragraph.
second paragraph, thank you.
Does that trail off with the, that's supposed to be, the staff members may establish their rules of protocol?
Maybe I'm on the wrong paragraph there then. 50309.
Example R1.
Oh, R1, okay. Space designated by the classroom teacher. Yeah, so in their backpacks unless otherwise instructed in the space that's, okay, so what that means is there are some teachers, so, and I can actually speak to this because when I have to trade kids out at the end of the day, I go into my wife's room and so she's got this little shelf thing where when the kids come in, they put their phone in there, so that then the teacher.
Okay, I'm just making sure, because so then that just trails to the teachers establishing their own.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and so that bracket doesn't necessarily need to be there, is my understanding on that one, which I'll fix on post.
That was the only
there,
thing
but-
that just, because it like almost seemed like it should have more bullet points. to it.
Right.
That was my
Yeah,
confusion.
but I think one of the reasons, as we kind of established administratively, kind of how to work through that last year, we did see that teachers have some different ways of doing that. Some have like a little, not a bucket, but like a little tote that you can put them in. Some have a shelf like that. Some say, no, it has to be in the backpack. Like, I won't see it. But that kind of gives a little bit of, how are you gonna enforce it in your room? What do you need to be able to see to enforce this? Which I think I'd probably be one that I'd wanna place for them, because it would be easier for me to trust that. I think I'd be in that boat, but I'm kind of a rules kind of person.
How's it working for you, Jenny?
It's actually going very well at the high school, to be honest. I mean, it's going really well, better than last year even. I don't know if it's specific to the policy necessarily, as it is specific to all of our staff being on board and doing the same thing. So it was maybe easier to send that message because it's law now and the choice is gone, right? But what we have in place is working much better than I feel like it did last year, and I think even our students would tell you it's working pretty well.
And I would say they do, because I met with my student advisory group last week, and that's one thing they brought up, was that this year they thought that the staff, like the policies are the same, but they thought the staff together was enforcing them across the board, so they thought they were being implemented and communicated a lot better overall.
Any other questions about?
There's
policy?
one thing about that policy to know. So in 50309, not the R1, the 09, in practice and the way that we've worked in the past, and I did check with the attorney, this is still acceptable. I would propose that we consider striking in the third paragraph, it's a one sentence paragraph there, it says instructional time is defined to mean periods of classroom instruction from the beginning of class bell until the end of class bell. And then semicolon, include lunch, recess, and passing periods. So our current plan and our current work has not included that as instructional time in terms of cell phones. And I did check with Attorney Hainfield, and she said that that was still within the scope of Governor Reynolds' law. So if it would be within the will of the board, I'd like to leave that unchecked, because we don't have a problem with students coming off their phones when they need to go into the classroom. And I think that gives us the ability to remain as free as we can while maintaining decorum in our classrooms. Would that be okay with the board to have that strike?
What,
I wanted to give you the state policy and
so
then.
you're talking, keep this on a stroke.
Well, yeah,
But then, okay.
that was one of the spots that I'm like, why did they strike it in one place and put it in another place? That bothered me too. But yeah, that one is completely struck. But what I'm suggesting is in that third paragraph, so it's just one sentence, to strike everything after the semicolon.
Okay,
So that it won't include lunch, recess, but recess doesn't really apply. I mean, But lunch recess.
Sometimes high schoolers need to go outside.
Right, yes, yes indeed. In fact, we do have some of that. We have some teachers that have done a good job getting fresh air for some people out there. So that's good. I've seen a little bit of that going on.
So motion, unless there's any other discussion, I would say motion to approve first reading, striking the third paragraph on page 503.09 to remove everything after that semicolon, include lunch recess and pass it periods.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. It has been approved.
Thank you.
Window graphics bid.
So these,
We're not done with these yet.
We're not,
no, we'll do a second reading still.
Oh, okay. I
yeah.
have a question on 507.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. And on that one, they talked about the immunizations,
Could you say what one that was again?
507.1. And I guess the part in green was, I kind of lost my phone here, but people, the students cannot have immunizations if it's a medical reason or a religious reason. And then they added something on the bottom there, that they have to send in some report if they do that.
Yeah, and that's been the case. What changed with the law, the legislative session on immunizations, is that now the district has to include additional communication, typically through your handbook and things like that, and at registration, about how to qualify for a vaccine exemption if you'd like to.
Yeah, the only thing it's adding, Tom, is the district will include information related to the requirements as well as exemption requirements. Let's just put more language in there.
Public health comes and goes through our each building's immunization files with their nurse. And then nurses send a letter to the parents and remind them that we have to have exemptions or we have to have immunizations, or the kids can't be in school according to the state law.
And unless there's an exemption.
Right. And they just, and oftentimes they just have to help them get the paperwork to get it signed.
Yep, that was the change that happened in the legislation on that.
Did you want to say?
I had it up. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, now I'm fine.
okay. Are we satisfied with
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Then we will move on to approval of the window graphics bid.
This is to finish up our external window safety coverings that have the cool graphics on them to continue to block out view from outside to the inside of the building while still allowing sunlight and allowing a view outside from inside the building.
What windows are we talking about with this?
Oh, there are some at the high school, some at Lakeview. I want to say there are some at Howard. Yeah, here's some at Howard. So it's the classroom windows at Howard on the, trying to think where those, are those the inside of the U of Howard? Let's see, the guidance office. So, oh, this is a weird one. So when you walk in the man trap at Howard, there's a window right there that leads right into the guidance office. It's just a clear, open window, so we got one for that, because that's a privacy concern, and if you've got somebody in the man trap, having a view into a classroom is not good if they're not a safe person. I think that's all the Howard ones that are on here. Does that sound right to you, Terry, on yours?
Yeah, they're all just on the inside there.
Let's look at what the high school ones are. Entrance 6, I think is that your back entrance in the classroom wing? Does that sound right?
Sorry, what is it?
Entrance 6 at the high school, is that your back entrance in the new wing?
I don't know our entrances, I'm sorry.
I feel like that might be, so it's various entrances around the building that don't have that blocking
That's the one I
It's
know.
behind the sign.
glass doors.
It's in the science.
It's behind the
Yeah,
sign.
yeah, the off
Is
the,
it once you turn that way?
teacher parking lot there.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think we do have some classroom windows here. I'm trying to think what
They are
classroom
gravel
windows
lot
that would
doors?
be.
I think it'd be that one where that garden is at.
Jenny, do you remember what classroom windows that is on there? Which classroom windows do we not have covered currently?
You mean with the curtain, or you mean, oh, no, are we talking about on the west side of our new wing?
That could be.
Yes,
yeah.
where,
The back side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
west
that's what
side.
it is. You're right.
so each of those classrooms has, I mean, an entire row of windows along there.
So we believe, if we've checked it all right, after these go through, there shouldn't be a window that can look into a place where students are that isn't covered with this. I wanna say that third quote might be a couple over by the gym at Lakeview, I think. And again, it's more entrances.
Yeah, they measured all of our entrances as well.
The one the teachers were concerned about in that building is are the doors going into the hollow?
The big red hall, yeah, I think that's one of these entrances here.
They measured all of ours, so
Good.
people walk in the doors outside of the gym, one's covered, the one's not, so they measured all of those.
I will tell you, altogether, it's kind of pricey, but Lisa and I did talk a little bit today to make sure we were good to do this, and, you know, for safety, we figured this is one of those expenses that it probably accelerates a little spending on a couple than what we had planned initially, but not in a way that makes it dangerous for us to pay bills or anything, but just that we'll be a little tighter on some other things. But it's good, because it'll protect the kids.
When do they think they can move on that?
Usually, once we approve, they get something scheduled pretty quick. Jared, did they share anything with you?
So if we approve tonight, I can reach out to them tomorrow, and see if they can fit us in the fall. They only have probably another 3 or 4 weeks left for the fall, because after the temperature drops below, I think it's 55, then they can't do it. So then we would push to the spring, but we'll be able to find out for sure hopefully tomorrow.
And I would push some of those in Lakeview to the spring anyways, until we get that
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
I told them that when I was like, hey, measure these, but we've got some construction, so let's not do the windows right now.
Yeah, Jared's actually done a lot of the work with this company on this, and I think he's gone around and toured a lot of places.
So what's the total? I see all the statements, but
Yeah,
what's the total?
I had that.
It was like right under 12, right under 12.
It was around that, yeah. And then the other one was smaller, I think, right? I will say, their work is really good. Don't love their invoices, because it doesn't total.
What's weird was the one total, but the other two didn't.
Makes it seem not quite as expensive when you have it separated.
That's a good point, I never thought about that.
Well, these ones are separated out as I asked them to, because I didn't know if we would do it all at once. So I said, can you do entrances first and then windows, figuring we'd do one or the other potentially.
That's good to know.
It's pretty reasonable, though. I know we.
I think it's 12, 11, 17.
That sounds.
Motion to approve window graphics needs.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the window graphics bid.
You're right.
Any further discussion?
Wait, I'm sorry, who seconded that?
Me.
Okay.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. Chronic absenteeism improvement update.
All right, how do I put something up, Cameron?
I'll email you the Zoom link.
Actually, if you wanted to, you could follow along in your board packet. It's the slides that are the attachment, and I can kind of communicate out for those playing along at home here. So we had here I concur. We had the E-Director visit a couple weeks ago. Did find out, emailed her communications person, they still plan to post something. I was kind of bummed that they didn't post about us, but they're still planning to get that out there. The reason they visited us, I think I shared at the last board meeting, is because we had a major improvement in the area of chronic absenteeism as a district. And so she'd asked for us to kind of present some background on what we were doing that was giving us success with our students on this. So we kind of went into some of the nuts and bolts and then into the philosophy behind it. We did talk a little bit about our attendance timeline. Fall of 2022, we had a SIAC meeting, and that was kind of really, in a way, one of my first things I got to do coming in with our families and some of our people to try to figure out what it is we need to improve on. And we looked at chronic absenteeism data and saw a big uptick in the state, the nation, and then in our district. So we identified that as a need area. That spring, we were actually identified, or did some meetings on the IDEA differentiated accountability. That's IDEA, DA. And one of our areas, post-secondary participation of our special needs students, as we kind of dug into that data, we saw that the students who weren't having that post-secondary participation had an attendance issue in a lot of cases. So we saw that data as a place where we really needed to focus on that. So we started attendance teams the summer and fall of 2023. The attendance teams each had done some of the modules from there's a program called Attendance Works that gives a lot of good feedback to schools on how to improve attendance in your school. And then, as you know, last year we had our district attendance director, and this year an attendance coordinator to kind of continue that work with our county attorney. We did all the work required with the Senate File 2435, which is the one with working with your county attorney and the prosecution of truancy and all that. But more importantly, and well before prosecution of truancy, the parent engagement meetings, which I think we are very lucky in Centerville. Not everybody has the same experience that we've gotten to have. Ty Stewart, our county attorney, has been awesome to work with for the district. He's done such a good job of engaging with families and not making it about a punishment, not making it about you're bad and I'm a prosecutor and I'm gonna get you, but making it more like how can we come to the table and help this work out for your kid. So really pleased that we've got such a good county attorney to work with there. As you know, we built the district attendance-wide director coordinator position job description to really kind of hit at those items of participating in the building, attendance team meetings, analyzing the data, having a close relationship with the county attorney, working on celebrating positive attendance items, and just kind of building that communication, and overseeing the boring paperwork process on top of that. Our attendance teams meet at least once every 2 weeks in each building. We have a couple buildings that do every week, and they tie their academic team in with their attendance team. And I think a building that kind of separates them out a little bit, but I think that's even kind of shifting some. On that team is the principal, counselor, nurse, secretary. Jason Reed serves from the district role on that. And then other pertinent personnel. So like if we've got a particularly challenging case with a family, it might be that we'd want to pull in a teacher that's worked closely with that family and has a strong relationship. So just depending on some of the specific cases. And what they'll do is they'll actually work off of a list of the students who have the highest absenteeism rate in the last given month or even overall for the year to date. And they'll kind of look at each of those individual cases of, is there a family need? Sometimes you identify, death in the family has caused, a number of kids to have problems attending for a month or two. And just offering at that point, the reason the counselor is there is to offer some support to those kids and that family and kind of help them through that process. Sometimes it's student needs. Maybe you identify that a kid is struggling socially with peers, and that's a chance for us to kind of address that. Jason's role is to make that connection. If we're talking about, Katie Taylor at CHS, well, hey, we were at Howard the other day and we talked about Corey Taylor, so we should probably, and Xander Taylor there too, so we should probably make some connection in the work that we're doing on multiple building teams. So that's what he does for us, and that has been super helpful, I think, in a number of cases. And again, we've got the nurse and involved too, in case there's a chronic health problem there. There are these little door hangers that the high school team started using last year, and we're making for the rest of the buildings. If they go on a home visit for attendance, but they don't meet somebody there, sometimes that'll happen. We really try, and we talked to Director Snow about this, we really try not to look intimidating when we go. If a person shows up wearing a polo, carrying a clipboard, that can look like other agencies that come and visit homes sometimes. And I think there are some families for whom that can be challenging and kind of scary. So we try to look casual when we go on those home visits. But if we miss them, we leave this little door hanger that says, sorry we missed you, please feel free to call us back at this number, we'd love to catch up with you. And I think, Jenny, would you say you guys have seen some success with those?
Absolutely. I mean, I can think of at least 4 specific students right now, just since the beginning of the school year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And, you know, we approach those meetings, those visits, all from a helping mindset rather than a, hey, if you don't do this, here's gonna come the stick. Because it's really about what can we do to help you help your kid, because there's nobody on earth who says, I hope my kid doesn't go to school and do the right thing. So we recognize they're giving us their most precious commodity when they send their kid to us, and we wanna help their kid to be engaged. We've used, one thing you can be proud of as a board member, some of the resources that our district has to help kids attend. Our transportation department, Mike and his team are very open to helping get a vehicle prepped so a team can go out and pick a kid up if there's a problem. They really work to make sure that's there. We have some student hygiene support that's actually being used in multiple buildings this year. We have washing machines in each building, because sometimes, and other districts dealing with this have found this, sometimes I don't have any clean clothes and it's embarrassing, can be a barrier for a kid. So we've got, I think our nurses for the most part have been the ones to really engage in helping out with that, which is pretty awesome. There are showers in each of the buildings too, that are used by some kids that's a concern for them. Our nurses have worked with families. We have great counseling support, so the outside counseling services, our Stronger Connections grant that we got a couple of years ago got us an additional counselor. And the MTSS process that we have pretty strong in each building is about intervening for kids so that I'm struggling in math isn't a reason not to go to school. I'm struggling in math is a reason to get a little more help with math. So that's helped us. But we believe the most important thing, and it comes all the way to this level, when we established goals as a board 3 years ago, and then again, just this summer was that, or last spring, I forget. Well, recently, one of the goals in each of those cases was that we want each of our students to have something to belong to. Jared had shared some statistics, I think maybe on his personal Facebook, but 80% of our kids at CHS were involved in activity last year, which is a great number, and I believe we're on the path to increase that again this year. It was neat when the high school kids, so Emery, that talked to you today, was one of the gals that helped, and one of the people, because I think Andrew was the other person, wasn't he, Andrew Russell? They took the director around to show the school to her and talk about why they thought kids were coming to school. And they came to the exact same conclusion, that this school really wants to see us involved. They really find it important that we do things, that we're engaged. I thought that was really cool, because when the director met with the administrators after that, and we tried to hang back, we didn't want to color the visit at all. We wanted them to tell her the truth of what they felt the school was. And they shared almost verbatim what we said about, it's about making a culture where everybody gets to do something, and what they are into is valued. So I think that goal that the board set really is playing out well for our high school kids. And there's some research that's connected to with the positive childhood experiences versus adverse childhood experiences, but that I won't bore you with all that. I think that was good for the DE director, but probably a little bit much for a board meeting. But it really played out well. I'm very eager to see what they put for their blurb, because I'd imagine there'll be something about our students being involved and engaged. So very excited about that. So that's kind of what we presented to the DE director, just in a nutshell, for you guys to kind of an idea of what we're saying we think has led to our positive growth.
Jared, you know, you talked about that 80%. I remember Cameron talked about some of the kids that were in the esports were not in anything else.
I have very few kids that do other sports.
So that
some
really,
do.
That helped that percentage. Is there other things that help that percentage too?
Yeah, I would say kind of I don't want to call them outliers, but the ones where you really see kids just focus on that one thing. Esports would be one, and Cameron does a really good job of taking those kids that aren't involved in choir, band, or some of our athletics and getting them in that room. And like you said, his numbers are up this year. Another one I think is probably trap shooting. You get some kids there in trap shooting that don't necessarily do some other things. We're hoping to get some kids in robotics this year. Miss Mitchell is just relaunching that at the high school, and they've already got some numbers there. So there's just some of those extra little niche things that draw those kids in. And I think you're seeing that this fall. If you look at our numbers, our football numbers are up, our volleyball numbers are up. Esports
Cross
numbers
country,
are up.
4 teams. too.
Yeah, cross country's up, esports
always
up.
happen.
You know, we're honoring 40 seniors on Friday night for senior night. So, you know, we've definitely seen some growth.
Thanks.
Yeah, man, that's good.
It is,
It's
yeah.
fantastic, but I saw that like,
Yeah.
wow.
Starting at 6:20 because I asked AJ, I was like, hey, can you look at last year's and tell me how long it took? And so he pulled it up and I was like, okay, we got double that. So.
That's awesome though.
And I think if you go back to some of the training we had as a district, 25 years ago, when it talked about the needs that kids have and that need for belonging. If they're involved in something, then they're part of something bigger, and that can't be beat.
Yeah. And it's cool to hear them say that.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
so
That's the
neat
best
about that.
Yeah.
We can all sit here and talk till we're blue in the face, but
Yeah.
Are there any other activities that we don't offer? I mean, I want to see 100%.
We are working
That's a
on,
goal.
We kind of monitor that at Howard too, and I'll tell you what, another thing that really is a big attraction for us is Lizzie Ayler. She does an art club after school. That's not even, she does that on her own goodwill. It's not even a school-sponsored
Wow.
financial. And the same thing, we had about 96% is the group of kids that we had, and again, it's just because there's something out there for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just,
Well, I think
You're right.
Mark and I's next thing that we looked at is maybe archery is probably the next one that we'll try to add next few years. We tried to maybe do a sharing agreement with another district that already offered it for a year or so, but they weren't interested. So we're kind of looking at things on our end to see what that might look like.
sure.
That
That's
art
fine.
sounds
We'll just bring it
interesting.
in.
They have these art things at Tangle Bears and things like that.
Mhm.
And my daughter and wife sometimes do that. And you go there and you see all these people, mostly women, like 30 women, and you don't hear a peep. You don't hear a peep. Does that ever happen? It doesn't happen.
What's their secret?
It doesn't sound like that at our building.
feel like
where it
that-
does.
I think archery would,
yeah,
this kind of easy.
there's some real interest in it too.
Yeah, good.
Okay, thank you for the update. That's very encouraging. Personnel business procedures?
Pretty standard.
Straight up.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the personnel business procedures. Any questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Everything passed. Financial reports.
If you guys notice, I put the cash report in that I had left out last week.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the financial reports. Any further discussion, questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Superintendent's report. What else did you say?
Not much. It's Pancake Day week, which I've always, since I've been involved with Centerville, seen that as where we're officially underway for the school year. Like it finally feels normal by Pancake Day, once you get through Pancake Day, that is. Our football team, holy cow, amazing stuff happening. Love to watch it. Some field goals this last week. I was kind of interested in that. And our R&Rs that we approved at the board this summer, the regulate and return coaches are off to a really nice start in the buildings too. We've got Bridget Stickler at Lakeview, and then we've got Tyler Bays at Howard, and they're doing a good job with the work and
Mrs. Baker is helping with that at Lakeview,
she's
or
helping
Howard
with
too.
it. Yep,
Keep
so
going.
they're working well off our training with that. So I'm really happy with that.
Anything else? We are down to board member takeaways. Who'd like to go first?
Me.
There you go.
This goes with what Jenny was saying in her report about the in-service And having been somebody that sat through 30 years of in service as a teacher, it's so refreshing to hear you say that, you know, we met this time and we went over the data and blah, 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 and then, but next time we're gonna take that data and we're gonna make it work for us. Because I think that is a big missing piece of a lot of in-service where you, yeah, we know what the numbers are, we hear this every year, but to take it and do something with it, that's exciting.
The what, not the why.
Yes,
point, yeah.
yes, yes.
Who's next?
I'll go. So my daughter came to me this weekend and told me this story, and I think there's people that were in this room that were involved, but after one of the football games last week, her sister got hung up on the curb, and a couple of family members and their kids came and helped lift them up. The way I heard the story, they picked the car up, moved it over so she could go ahead and go. That might have been a little dramatic. By the way I told the story. But I do like to see that we have people who are looking out for each other and things happen. That's nice. But you might know more about the story.
It wasn't lifted.
We're strong.
50% of first report.
Yeah. Makes a great story.
Good kitchen story. I enjoy, you know, hearing from the students tonight and the excitement in the buildings. And as well as, you know, just reflecting on, I'm appreciative of the fact that when we made that goal 3 years ago, that it's happened. We all know a lot of times these meetings aren't exactly where we would probably want to be on a Monday night to see something that we all collectively said, we gotta do this, and we're getting there. That's awesome. I just thank you to everybody for making that happen.
Well, I'll go next, I guess. I just appreciate all the reports that you guys give, and, because I know it takes preparation, and you've had a busy day, and then you come here too, so I appreciate how you prepare for that. I was also glad to hear about the shower and the washing machine. I thought that was just fantastic, because we know kids want to fit in, and it's very hard when they don't fit in. And I'm also glad we kicked the field goal too.
More than one.
More than one, yes.
It's a good
Extra point, 2 out of 3 or something.
Well, my takeaway has to do with the, everybody at that end of the room. We have a group that is planning, looking ahead, and looking at where we're at, and still thinking there's more to go. And I want you to know that I really, really appreciate that. Each and every one of you does something very unique, and every one of you seems to be kid-centered. That it's, you know, I've always said when I taught school, it's not about the subject, it's all about the kid. And if you can focus on the kid, the rest of it follows. It's very encouraging to work with you folks, and I want to thank you very, very much.
Thank you. And I wish there was a score for that, you know?
Yeah.
With all these test scores, but
Yeah.
that's.
Not the stuff that counts in one line sometimes.
Yeah.
We're also glad that you're glad. Back, Mike.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second. Motion to adjourn. Yeah, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.